Hi, beautiful YouTube family. Lisa A. Romano here, the Breakthrough Life Coach. And today we're going to be discussing a couple of different ideas. And what I try to do is just help you guys connect the dots. I really think that there's enough information out there today, and God knows, God love all of you. So many of us have been in and out of therapy for 20 years and spent thousands and thousands of dollars trying to find this peace. And unfortunately, we get some information here, we get some information there. You know, for those of us who are very scientific, what we're hearing spiritually doesn't match, or what we're hearing about the soul or the self doesn't match with what we've learned, in terms of science. And for those of us who are very psychologically based, it doesn't really match what we hear on on a quantum level, the science of it, of who we are and what we are and how to bring it all together. So what I try to do is I just try to connect the dots within my own life, and then I share what I've learned. And it comes from what I believe is a true compassion, a place of compassion for my fellow man, and understanding that we're all in this together. So today I want to talk about, I think there's something a little bit dangerous that can happen on this path, and that is when there is information being spread out there about how it is that coming to terms or being told that you are in fact codependent and an empath, how some people out there are saying that, oh, look, there are those in this community who are blaming the victims because narcissists are mean to us. That's not what this is about. This is about ownership. This is about figuring out what happened in our life, in our patterning, in our programming that set us up to be a template or a blueprint that attracts narcissistic others. If we don't figure out, and that's not blaming the victim. That's saying, little girl, what are you doing wrong so that you can fix it? It's not your fault that you do this, but what are you doing wrong so that you can fix this? Because that's where your power is. If I hear information that implies that I'm doing something wrong, and I take the position that that you are blaming me, and accountability for the narcissist is being taken, off the table, I can't change. If my position is fix the narcissist, but don't fix me, I might get rid of the narcissist. I might even lock his ass up in jail, whatever, or find a way to get him out of my life. And I might turn an entire family against the narcissist. That doesn't solve the problem. There's a greater problem, and the problem is, why did I attract the narcissist in the first place? Now, you may hear people out there on YouTube say, well, that's blaming the victim. No, it's not, dear one. It is figuring out, it is empowering the codependent with information that will allow him or her to discern for their behalf in the future. If you don't know what you're doing wrong, like I write in Quantum Tools, like if your father taught you to, I use the pothole analogy, so many of you have really, really resonated with that. If your whole life your father was in a car and he hit every pothole, and the family car you had to pull the car over and wait for a tow truck, and hours, every time you try to, it takes you 10 hours to get from point A to point B because dad hits potholes and blows out tires, and all of a sudden a tow truck driver says, you don't have, that's a pothole, you don't have to drive into it. It's like, what do you mean we don't have to drive into these potholes? That's what my father did. You mean there's a better way? That's, dear ones, that's teaching information. So I don't want to go off on a tangent, because there are a lot of people out there that are you have to use the spirit of discernment, dear one. If what you hear in a YouTube video or on a Facebook page or in a community doesn't feel right, honor it. Me personally, when I hear people say, oh, we're blaming the victims, that's not what this is about. True healing is about learning to figure out what we're doing that is disempowering us, and figuring out what our pattern is, and then changing the pattern so that we don't have to attract narcissistic people. Because I can punish a narcissist, sure, I could divorce him. That doesn't change me. Another one's coming. Like I always say, I joke around about it, but it's true. You could walk into 7-Eleven being hooked up with somebody, and guaranteed he's going to be a very similar energy pattern. And in my experience, personally and professionally, the narcissist you kick to the road is one thing. The next narcissist is usually worse. Usually worse because you're in such a low vibration when you get rid of a narcissist and you haven't tuned up your vibration with peace, love, and light. And so you're down here, so guess what? You're attracting a narcissist that's down here with that type of energy pattern. And you are so desperate for love at that point and so alone that you attract someone who is the equal energy to that in a narcissistic form. So I'm in the process of creating these like flashcards that will help you figure that out. That's one point. So be careful of the information that is out circulating on YouTube and other venues, other outlets, whether it's online, Coda meetings, Al-Anon. Be very, very careful. If you're not, true spiritual work means I'm able to look at me. I'm done looking at everybody else. Because everybody else is really a projection of what the way I see other people is really a projection thus far of what's happening inside of me. And so if you're not ready to look at yourself and be humbled by what you see, then you might not really be ready for true codependent recovery because this work is tough. It doesn't happen in a YouTube video. It doesn't happen coaching 1 hour a week. It happens on the playing field of your mind, day in and day out, asking yourself, is that a codependent thought or is that an empowering thought? Is that a thought from higher self or is that a thought from lower self? So that brings me into the next thing I want to talk about. I coach codependents. I coach adult children of alcoholics. I coach daughters of narcissistic mothers. I coach sons of narcissistic mothers and fathers. I coach men who have been abused by narcissistic women, who are mentally ill, who, have whatever, lots of. So initially, essentially, what I've learned to do as a coach is I see patterns. You do this for as long as I do, and this is really primarily what you do with most of your time. It's impossible not to see patterns, and so I can hear things that people aren't saying. I can see patterns people aren't seeing. And that just comes with, experience and doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. So I'm very fortunate that when I'm coaching with someone, now I can see things very quickly. And one of the things that I'm noticing, and dear ones, I love to hear your comments, is that I noticed that, just to make this real simple, in my opinion, when I was severely handicapped emotionally by codependency, when I look back at that from where I am now, I think to myself, I was like 6 because, in other words, I came at my everyday experience, even though I was married with 3 children, I very much viewed the people in my life in a way that reminded me of how I viewed my world when I was 6. Hold on. When children are little, they look to their parents for the meaning of experiences. When a child is in a car, let's say, and let's say she is 2 or 3 years old, you have to understand, dear ones, data. This baby is being programmed by what's happening. If daddy's driving along in the car and Joe Schmo gives him the bird, and the baby sees this happen a few times consistently, the baby will, and dad goes apeshit, the baby learns to associate, first of all, there's a lot of tension in the car. So a lot of anxiety in the car. So the baby will pick that up. Like, I'm in the car, anxiety. That's what's going on. Okay, the baby's going to feel jacked up. So this kid will start driving, like at 16 or 17, and boom, there's anxiety in that driver's seat, simply because that's been this child's experience. It's its energetic pattern. It's its blueprint. So going back to what happens. So let's say this child, daddy is, a very angry person. Daddy curses. Daddy uses very aggressive and very violent language. It's the norm for this child to be around daddy, and this is the kind of stuff that comes out of daddy's mouth. So daddy's driving on the highway, and someone cuts him off, and daddy explodes. Mommy shuts down, older sister shuts down, daddy explodes. So many things are happening. So the child in the back seat in the car seat's being programmed, daddy's angry, everybody shuts down, I better shut down. Let me get very, very small. If daddy has an overt reaction and starts, this mother effer, and he starts chasing this dude down because he got cut off, or the dude, Joe Schmo, gave daddy the finger, the child is being downloaded with information that with meanings. Oh, Joe Blow just cut us off, or Joe Schmo just bled us off. That means I have to go crazy. That means I have to react. That means it's very bad. That means I lose my temper. That means I hunt Joe Blow down or Joe Schmo down. So children look to their parents and their experiences for meanings. Take the same child and put him in a healthy person's car, and somebody cuts them off, and mommy or daddy says, wow, that guy is in a big hurry. Let me move out of the way because I don't want to collide with that guy. And dad does not have this ridiculous reaction to getting cut off, and the ride in the car is somewhat calm, and dad is unaffected by this crazy energy of this Joe Blow person. Then the child's meaning, the meaning that the child associates to that experience is no big deal. No one's in control of my emotions. No one's in control of my reaction. It's okay that people that are crazy around me. I don't have to react to them. Beautiful. But how many of us were taught this crap? I know I wasn't. My parents were smoking their cigarettes with the windows closed. We're all gagging in the back seat. My parents didn't think about, what was being downloaded, or sucked into the lungs of their children. We were dying in the back seat. Nobody cared. So, this is our experience. But we're getting smarter and smarter. Thank God for YouTube, right? Okay, so stick with me. So children look to their parents for meanings. Children look to their parents for validation. It's normal and it's innate. Children don't know what things mean, and they need mommy and daddy to show them. Now, mommy and daddy are not saying when someone cuts you off, that means you should get pissed. That's not what mommy and daddy are saying, but mommy and daddy are showing that. So now, what we experience now as adults. Now, you take the same child who had that experience when they were little, and you put her in front of a stove. She's got 3 kids on the couch watching Rugrats, whatever, and daddy comes home and he's angry, and mom says, are you angry? What are you upset about? And dad says, I'm not upset. And mom goes, oh, okay. Just like she would have done if she was 6. If this little girl, same woman, now she's 6, says to her mother, Mommy, you sound angry. And mommy goes, I'm not angry. Then little girl goes, okay, mommy's not angry. Mommy says she's not angry. The little girl is constantly going to seek confirmation and validation from outside of herself, which is why I think, and I would just like you guys to play with those ideas, when we're codependent, we react very much like we're 6. We still need validation. We are afraid to rock the boat. When you're little, you're afraid to rock the boat. You feel powerless. When you're 6, you look for your parents to validate your experience. When you're codependent, you need people to say, yes, you have a right to get divorced because he's a mother effer. Or whatever, you're not happy. We're constantly seeking validation. We get our feelings hurt. We can't just say, wow, that was kind of rude, and sit with it. We need you or someone outside of us to say, yes, I hurt your feelings, and yes, you have a right to feel that way. Wrong. That is codependency. When you're coming through the veil and you're healing from codependency, you're stepping into your divine feminine and divine masculine power. Because remember, we're all both male and female. We come from mother, father. So we have both aspects of divine feminine and divine masculine. When you're healing from codependency, you learn that you don't have to be 6 anymore. You don't need your husband's validation anymore. You know how you feel and you own it. You don't expect him to take care of how you feel. It's just how you feel. And then you use your feelings as a guide to set up a boundary, okay? I hope you guys get that. I'm going to have a battery issue soon, so that's why I'm trying to hurry a little bit. The second thing I want to talk about is karma. I think it's very interesting, and this is just my theory. If you tell me, Lisa, hey, Lisa, F you, and I go, hey, yo, F you, in my opinion, that's your karma. You tried to be abusive towards me. I was abusive towards you, and I think that ixnay is the karma for the person who assaulted me verbally in the first place. I would like all of you to begin playing with the idea of letting someone else's aggression just kind of like bypass you, and try to deliberately shine love and light back to them. So, because this is what I'm hoping you discover as I discovered. When you assault me and I go like this, and that assault goes this way, and I shine love and light on you anyway, that karma that you shot this way is coming back at you, boy. It's coming back at you. Okay? When I get into phone conversations, texting battles, and defiant conversations, and confrontations with you, like, how dare you say this to me? That's what that's doing is your karma. Let's say you're trying to abuse me. Your karma is landing, and I'm pushing it back on you. Whereas if I learn to do this, say, okay, dude, sorry you feel that way. Okay, sorry you feel that way. It's kind of cool when you realize that the universe is a boomerang. We live in this cocoon. We have our atmosphere, our biosphere. This energy it's going to come back. It has to come back from where it was created. If you do not allow that person's energy, the narcissist's energy, to land, and you do not push back with similar energy, then you resonate higher. It's so freaking cool. So I say, I'm rubber. I don't know, those of you who grew up, I don't know if this is everywhere, but in Queens, when we were hanging out playing, manhunt in the street, when someone said something stupid, we would say, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say to me bounces off of me and sticks on you. Genius, really? So the next time you're a narcissist, or your mom, your smothering mom, or your narcissistic mom, or your narcissistic spouse, or sometimes even our adult children, send us a nasty text, or our parents say us something that's cruel, or a sibling says something that's cruel. I want you to say in your head, I'm rubber, and you're glue, and whatever you say to me bounces off of me and sticks on you. And in love and light, I'm going to let that slide. In love and light, I'm going to let that, it's like the electric slide, just let it slide. Your power is in the ability to think. And when you see a psychic attack or a verbal attack coming your way, your job is not to send the same energy back. Because think about it. When that comes your way and you push back with this, you're locked. You're in the same energy. You're on the same quantum playing field as they are. You don't want, to wrestle in the mud with pigs. They like it. They like to wrestle in the mud. You was a hummingbird, so you got to fly, dear one. You got to fly. Those of you who are truth seekers are meant for a different journey. You're meant for a different path. But you cannot be the true beacon of light you are meant to be without new information. And not all knowledge is wisdom. So be very, very careful about what you're putting into your brain. And know that when you curse what's happening in the world, like on television, dear one, that's a form of, I don't like what you're doing. I'm going to judge you. And so, in my opinion, you're attracting that which you're judging because you're becoming one with it. And so that sounds like what I'm saying is accept everything. And that's what I'm saying. Accept everything. Accept everything. Know that you're not attached to nothing, attached to no idea that implies that the world should live according to Lisa or according to Harry or whoever. Just pay attention to your own vibration. Pay attention to your own damn vibration. Mind your business. Let other people be narcissists if they want to be. Let other people talk about you if they want to talk about you. Learn to do this. Learn to do that. I hope this has helped, dear ones. There are 3 key issues that I hit today, and I really, really, really hope that this information helps keep you rising, because that's what it's all about, dear ones. I so love you all. I have 2 seats left for my teleclass in November, and I may be doing a teleclass towards the end of October online, because so many of you can't make it to New York in November. And really, really are wanting the how-tos. A lot of information about there. So many people out there that are able to tell us what the hell is wrong with us, but not a whole lot of people are ready to tell us how to fix it. And that's what I want to do, because the how-tos help us ascend, and we deserve that. We deserve that because we came here to be light bodies and to help other people activate. And even though some of our family might still be drinking a Kool-Aid, you know, we got to accept that their path is different than our path. So in love and light, dear one, in love and light, namaste. Bye.